contributed by her that she claimed. And he refused absolutely to pay that money, but the courts got into this case that she brought, went all through the courts, to the highest court in the state, and the courts decided against Divine, that she was right. And the court then had the power, as Divine understood it, to give him a summons, to bring him to the court, and then to require him to pay the money, and if he refused to pay the money, put him in jail. And he feared that. He didn't want to be put in jail as a result of his suit. And so he moved out of the state, where he couldn't be given a summons to come to the New York State Court. He was still allowed to come into the state only on Sundays and holidays when summons couldn't be delivered to him. He was free then to do it. And he could come then and visit Ulster County, well, once every few months maybe, but in the 1930s he visited Ulster County every week. Because he couldn't visit here anymore, the people who were his followers in Ulster County didn't want to live here anymore. And so their numbers were dropping. By 1950 they dropped. It was 1942 when he moved out of New York, moved to Philadelphia, established his headquarters there. By 1950, a lot of them had moved away or were thinking about moving away. The movement was weakened, and so it wasn't a threat to Ulster County anymore, as people thought. A few slides that indicate something of the social causes that Father Divine supported. One of the causes he strongly supported was passing the anti-lynching bill in Congress. And one of the efforts that his movement made was collecting signatures, 250,000 signatures, collected all over the place, including in Ulster County. And Father Divine, with a delegation, went to Washington and presented these signatures to various members of the Senate. But the anti-lynching bill was never passed, and never did get passed, hasn't even yet. But it was not passed largely because of the opposition of Southern senators. Another cause that he supported was abolishing segregation in the Army and Navy. This is during World War II. I should say that during World War II, because the nonviolent movement taught, because the Divine movement taught nonviolence, and the followers took it very seriously, a large number of the followers of Father Divine turned out to be conscientious objectors. And I spent a great deal of time trying to figure out how many followers became soldiers compared to how many became conscientious objectors during World War II. And as far as I could figure out, the best I could understand, many more of the followers were conscientious objectors than became soldiers. Father Divine said he would support his followers doing either one of these things, because whatever they did, it had to be as a result of their own conscience, not as a result of just the fact that he taught one way or the other, but many of them, following his teaching, became conscientious objectors. Nevertheless, they also tried to abolish segregation in the military service. Here's a picture of some of his staff. The fellow at the right, his name was Clarkson. He became Attorney General of the state of New York. He served as a lawyer for Divine. His wife is behind Father Divine, who's in the middle. To the right is John Land, who played the role of what we would probably call an executive secretary to the Divine movement. And the woman on the right, who attended Boston University and was a highly educated woman, was a long-term secretary. And all these people were often in Ulster County, in and out of Ulster County, especially in the 1930s. I mentioned already the case, the Dorinda Brown case that was brought against Father Divine, helped to drive him out of New York State. What you see here is followers of Father Divine picketing a court in New York when they had made a decision against the interests of Father Divine in that case. When Father Divine moved to Philadelphia as a result of that, the Dorinda Brown case, this is where he established his headquarters, especially. In the center of the picture, the main building on the second floor was where his office was. I've been there. This is still a building that's owned by the Divine Movement, and that office is kept as a kind of a museum showplace for anybody who wants to see it. The building on the right was also owned by the Divine Community. It's a former schoolhouse that had a big auditorium in it where they often had lectures or classes. One of the things that the Divine Movement did when it moved to Philadelphia was to buy many big hotels and operate them as divine hotels, with everybody in them expected to follow the usual divine rules. Now, one of these hotels, a big one, about this size, was close to the University of Pennsylvania campus. And my son, who attended the University of Pennsylvania, used to go to this hotel for the inexpensive, wonderful meals that were served there by the Divine Movement. And he used to go there sometimes with his girlfriend. And if he held hands with his girlfriend, while he was in that restaurant, the waiters would come up to him and say, "Sorry, you can't do that here, because the Divine Movement is against displays of affection." My son later married that woman, and my son is coming to visit me tomorrow with his wife. I will review that story with him. This is the second Mother Divine with Father Divine. He's older now. The first Mother Divine died probably about 1942 or 43. It's difficult to say exactly when. The Divine Movement did not like to recognize death because they talked about living forever. So when Mother Divine died, they didn't announce it. They didn't say, well, she died on such and such a day. They didn't hold funerals. They never did that. That wasn't part of it. But several years later, Divine married a second time. And obviously, she's a white woman. She's a Canadian. She came from Vancouver. She became a follower of Father Divine while living out there and wanted to see what he was really like. And so she came to Philadelphia and became his secretary, and then they decided to get married. When they decided to get married, they wanted to marry in Pennsylvania. But the law forbade interracial marriages in 1940s in Pennsylvania, so they couldn't do it. So they tried Maryland. The law, again, forbade interracial marriages in Maryland. But they found that the District of Columbia, Washington, wouldn't allow interracial marriages, so they went there and were married by a Baptist minister. And Mother Divine is still living. I've met her several times. She's encouraged me in writing this book.